And we are back. We are talking Marvel's Avengers, and we're starting to have the conversation about loot and NPCs. Yes, NPCs. On the TED Talk. Kalika-lika-lao. Well, we are doing it, guys. We are doing it. The new subscribers, thank you. Thank you very much. Hitting the notification bell, ring-a-ling-a-ling, 3 likes, greatly appreciate it. Now, if you're just joining, because this will not be in any special order, I did 2 videos about Marvel recently. One of them was about cake coming in, and the other one was about you should buy this game because the holiday sale and the value and things of that nature. And it led me to immediately do a conversation that was supposed to be a 7 or 8 minute video, and it became a 35-minute video. So I broke it down. Okay. And we're going to continue this talk. And on this part of the video that I'm going to jump into, you're going to hear me conversate. It sounds weird because I'm talking about an interview with myself as if it's anyways, you're going to hear me conversate about the storyline. Though I did enjoy the storyline, and they are working so that we can replay the storyline at some level. It just, we'll find out. But you know, you've ever had a movie or a CD album, whatever, and you're like, it's the best thing ever. And then when you replay the CD or the album, if you rewatch the movie, and I don't mean the movie is from the 80s and it doesn't hold up the test of time for today's HD 4K lifestyle, you know, I'm not talking about that. Just you really had a second opinion, a second look at it, and it just wasn't hitting the same. We'll find out if we're given the opportunity to play the campaign again. But I feel on the first go around, I enjoyed it. I felt like when I looked at some of the cutscenes and the things I was going to edit, things never showed, saw the light of day. Sorry. I just wasn't feeling the same about it. I felt it was this weird, awkward transitional thing, similar to when Miss Marvel was sitting inside of the truck with Banner, and she has a Slurpee, and they do that weird 80s montage type thing. That is how I would sum up the storyline experience with Marvel's Avengers. If you don't feel the same way, let me know in the comments, but it is what it is. So you're going to hear me talk about that. But the bigger kicker in this that you're going to hear is my conversational piece on the looting system. To me, it is the most impactful thing that this game can do. And it helps them find their way of what kind of game this is by them simply getting the looting system down, getting the gears down, getting the RNG down, and in a way that the community understands it and knows it and backs it. Everything else falls into place, in my opinion, with the looting system. You can have a poor storyline, but if the looting system is amazing and it's addictive and it's rewarding, you'll play forever. You could never add another character or another mission and you would still play it. You would actually, right, have a situation where you could have changed the graphics and it could be shell shaded and it can look like a comic book character. It could be stick figures. But if the looting, if the grind, if your time of playing the game is valued, you'll keep playing it. Okay, so let's get into it. Again, I appreciate you. 3 likes. Thank you. Kalika-lika-lao. Like I said, this game tried too hard in a direction where it's split up. Man, I can go all day about this. Let me see. So we talked about loot. Slightly, we talked about, what was the other one? It was loot and multiplayer. All right, story. The story's got to start coming together. It's got to start coming together where you understand the key players that are happening. And I think that's going to come. And with the story, it has to be clear. I've watched too many people online who are running around and they are looking for what the heck is the next step during the campaign. You know what I'm talking about because you probably did it yourself. It's telling you need to finish this mission, but you can't because you got to get here. Or it tells you that you need to be level this to do this mission. But what you really need to know is if you just switch your character to the character that mission pertains, let's say it's Hulk. Hulk is already at the level you need to do the level you need. You didn't need Miss Marvel to do it. And I could be off on that example, but you get my drift. So now you're upgrading gear, just so that you can get your gear score or power level where it needs to be to do the mission. So you're taking the gear that doesn't matter. You're taking the mats that's supposed to matter to make your gears not matter still, only so you can hit a magical number to do the mission. How many people you still see in Discord who are trying to find like a mission and someone's like, well, you got to get out of the map and you got to go back in. Okay, you got to go here and then you got to go there. That means you need to clean this up. Your story needs to be more streamlined. And you got to bring it. I know you can't use the comic stuff because devs already said this. They talk to Marvel. Marvel says, hey, look, this is what you can do. You can use these characters, but you need to come up with your own iterations. You can use this of our story and you can use this, but you got to come up with something like this. And maybe they got to approve it. We don't know exactly what happens in it, but if you remember, or we're able to see the DC fandom in the summer, where it might have been Jim Lee. I can't remember who it is. It's one of the head guys at DC. And he was explaining how, you know, movie, television, comics, video games, and more come to him and say, these are ideas that we have for these sources, these platforms we would like to use. What can we use from the DC catalog? And he has to make sure that they're all telling the same story. They're all flowing together, though they're individual. And you have to understand that there's multiple Flashes. There are multiple, you know, I was about to say Hulk, Batmans and Supermans and Harley Quinns, and understand the iterations that you have. That's awesome. So more streamline on the story. What else? I feel like it goes with loot, but again, I didn't write this down. This became a TED Talk. I don't even know what I'm going to do with this now. You could, the vendors and the marketplace and the challenge cards. Some people are doing the challenge cards. If you do one every day, or if you do your events every day, you could finish out the challenge card for your character pretty fast and get enough, I think, credits where you can do another character. And again, it costs you nothing. It's similar to Fortnite. You play the battle pass and you'll get what at the end of the battle pass, the VC that you acquire while winning your awards will pay for the next season. Now, it just is not, I don't think it's just me because I'm hearing it, same thing in the forums and other, like, there's nothing amazing. Drop my phone. There's nothing amazing about what's in the marketplace. Especially we have cloned items and items that are similar and glasses that aren't falling on, are not on the actual character in their cutscenes or vice versa. And I believe they already said, hey, look, we're working on it. We got new outfits and new this and this that's coming. And I think if you made it where the vendors, yes, they rotate, but they've got to find a way to make it meaningful. Because if you make it meaningful, you're going to see, and it probably won't be me, but you'll see content creators come out and tell you what vendors to go check out. The reason why you don't see that on this game as much as you did when the game first launched, because it has no impact. There's no impact at the marketplace. There's no impact at the Shield marketplace. And even though they put it in that area, right? Like the hero changing table or terminal that allows you to change your hero when you can do that on the carrier. You can do that before mission, but that's still there. Why? Unless you're telling me the only reason why it's there is because so you're close to the vendor so you can switch before you make a purchase or something. But again, the purchases aren't impactful. Right? Man, this TED Talk right here. I mean, if I thought about the next one, I would say it would probably be the villains. Villains and NPCs. I'll start with the NPCs. NPCs, non-playable characters. There's got to be more impact. I know I keep using the word impact. It just feels like they're just walking around. And sometimes in some games that is the case. But with the lore that you have with Marvel's, I feel like, I don't know, man. Should they be doing more? Should Jarvis be doing more? Like, I don't know. I don't know. It just feels empty. And you have talent as far as your voiceover work. And I believe Miller was saying how the first draft or some of the first voiceover work was actually developers and people that worked for Crystal Dynamics doing a lot of the voiceovers until, you know, they got an idea or they wanted to elaborate more on a character or whatnot. And then it was a professional actor that was doing it, a voice actor. And they've got a good cast for voice acting, at least from what I know, like looking at their name and going back and seeing the projects they work on, or just hearing their voice, like it sounds good. It doesn't sound blah. Like it sounds really good, like really thought well of and executed well. I just feel like they're holding it back, or it's just empty for some reason. And then the bigger part, the more important part, is the villains. Right now you're playing, what is there, like 2 or 3 villains right now? Abomination, you have MODOK if you're playing it early, and you got Taskmaster. That's it. Now you do get in the clone labs, it's supposed to be where if you don't do the puzzle fast enough, which is the mini raid, if you don't do the puzzle fast enough, then you get multiple abominations. The longer you take, you do it faster, you get less, something like that. Kate's supposed to bring Super Adaptoid, which brings you to not an Ultron type person, but an Adaptoid that has everyone's ability, or at least the 6 major characters. Clint is supposed to come out with a character, and that he's going against, which I think is Maelstro. I'm saying that wrong, but you know what I'm talking about. Black Panther is supposed to come out. Don't know what the date on him is, and that's supposed to be Ulysses Claw, and that's supposed to also bring their first raid. So there's villains that are gonna come out, but I mean, you got Bullseye, you got, I can't think right now. You got good in Doom, Black Bolt's brother. Like there's a, regardless of the names we shot out as a community, there's clearly villains missing. People are tired of beating up bots. Now they did said AIM is going to eventually not disappear from the storyline, but more archetypes of characters are going to jump in, more bad guys. But as of right now, AIM is the #1 thing we're focused on. Now, again, will it always be bots? I don't know. Are they playing the role safe for bots because they're not humans? And some games don't like to do human looking characters that you're beating up on because it goes against their brand. I don't think it's the case, because you do have a few characters who look like humans that are wearing just extra pads. So again, like I talked about before, the story and streamlining it, if people kind of understood where they were going with it, they wouldn't really second guess it as much. And if the launch wasn't the way it was, they probably wouldn't second guess it as much as they do.